shoot them all, I think, or something. There's bricks and screws in the show that'll piss off the fandom menace for some reason. Okay, yeah, I think that's good. We got it?
If I had the power to stop that sooner, I would have.
Okay.
Yeah.
It
That
better
was
be on Spotify Wrapped for everyone.
I apologize
was pretty
to everybody.
rough.
You're welcome.
Yeah. That was hard.
We did not vet that
Would the
beforehand.
kids in Gen Z call that cringe or a massive dub?
I
How
think
about a
it's
massive L?
a fat L.
Big
I
fat
believe.
L.
Fat L. Okay, cool. Thank you for your constructive criticism. I have elected to ignore every bit of it because that was the greatest performance of my life. Sitting
Yeah.
here in my
R.I.P.
lounge
Phantom.
chair.
R.I.P. Phantom
R.I.P.
and
R.I.P. Phantom.
Corey
R.I.P.
Norwood.
Corey
Yeah.
Norwood. Yeah.
Corey Norwood.
Yeah. Well, we're back with a rousing musical intro here after a long time off from busyness and audio failure and all that stuff. But
Constant.
Casual Opinions podcast back in your life. I just looked at the Spotify Wrapped for Casual Opinions, and I mean it was pretty meager. But
Fair.
but it was listened to in like 8 different countries, and maybe that was like an accidental click in 7 different countries. But the number two country was Sweden.
Dude, okay, hey, I'm
it's
gonna
like-
I'm gonna
okay.
call credit for that Sweden thing.
Yeah, how
I'm gonna
so?
get credit
Oh.
because I don't really do it anymore, but I was like casually just for fun streaming with my friends, and I had a pretty loyal follower from Sweden, and I think that might have been him. I would talk about the
Nice.
podcast, and
Okay.
he asked about it multiple times. So
Well, maybe,
shout out.
yeah. Or
Cool.
I thought you were gonna say that you were just like hopping on like Swedish
VPN.
Minecraft servers and just like
Just
spamming the link.
You've just like built the link into the skyline, so no matter where you are in the world,
You see it.
You just see Casual Opinions podcast on Spotify, like in the sky.
Or you're doing
So everyone who joins is just like, oh, I should probably give that a listen, shouldn't I?
you're doing Among Us VR with the Casual Opinions as your username, and you're just screaming at children.
Screaming the link. Yeah.
Watch us on
Go watch the
YouTube
Casual
one time.
Opinions podcast. Oh my god, we talk about Star Wars and Pokemon.
That's exactly what we're doing today.
Yeah, I was streaming Battlefront 2 when I did it too. So
Look at that. Battlefront 2 is good.
yeah.
The good Battlefront 2 or the less
No,
good
it was
Battlefront 2?
it was the other one. It was the new one. I like it. Don't get me wrong. It's nothing compared to the
fine.
old one, but it's fine.
It's fine. Yeah, I think we've talked about that before.
Oh yeah.
Today, though, Andor's been over for
Week.
a while now, but here we are talking about it because we missed some time on it. It spanned 12 episodes, which I think is probably the longest season a live-action Star Wars show's had. I think
Yeah.
maybe Mando episodes have been 12, or Mando seasons have had 12, or maybe
Have
they just
they?
cap at 10.
I thought
No,
they
they,
just go to
they've only
10.
had like 8,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly.
10. So the longest so far already got a planned season 2, which likely won't come out until 2024 or later, perhaps. But it was a show that apparently that got insanely good reviews across the board. I've seen a bazillion articles that are like, "This is the best Star Wars has been in a long time." All sorts of that kind of fun stuff there. But at the same time, it got very comparatively low viewership, at least, which I thought was interesting. Even they even like really trying to push it because they started putting it on Hulu. You
I
could
saw
watch it on
that.
Hulu
That was
also.
like weird.
And then they
Oh.
were even putting it on live TV. Like I think they were showing
What?
episodes on ABC.
We
Yeah.
we
That's
tuned in
crazy.
to watch a new episode of like Abbott Elementary because we were like, oh, they're gonna have a new episode out tonight, and we turned it on, and it was just Andor episode 1 instead. I was like, did they bump Abbott Elementary, or did Abbott Elementary have like a mid-season finale and they just needed to fill a slot, or I don't know.
So yeah,
weird.
it's interesting that it's critically and I think largely fan acclaimed, but also not super big. So I think they were really kind of
But
trying to push it a little bit there.
I was gonna say that sounds like, Oscar contender films. Like they could be like the
Yes.
greatest film you've ever seen and just do horribly at the box office.
Yeah.
Because, it's not Marvel, it's not Avengers or something like that. Um, so yeah, that's been a trend lately.
Yeah, and also like I mean that's always like an award season thing is to like re-release your stuff. So it does
Yes.
feel like maybe they were pushing it for some trophies, which I think it could certainly win here. Just my overall thoughts, sort of, and I guess we'll kind of get a little bit more into it as we go. Not really dive into the plot or anything, but I mean I thought it was pretty awesome. I enjoyed it. I think when we talked about it the first go around, I think we said that the first two episodes are maybe like a little bit slow at
Yeah.
first.
Mhm.
There's parts that kind of pop in those, but really from episode three onward, I thought it was just like pedal to the metal, pushing the pace the whole time. Like I never knew, I was always excited to see what happened next. I never felt like I was, it was getting sleepy or anything. There was always like a level or like an element of like tension there. And some people will complain, be like, "Whoa, well, prequel." Some people are just like anti-prequel because we already know what's going to happen to the characters. I always felt that that was a stupid argument. There's so much stuff that happens in between, and then like it's even better. Like if yeah, I know that he's gonna end up dead in 5 years, but like you still have me like gripped into my seat there. Like oh shit, is something bad? Like I know nothing bad is like I know he's not gonna die in the prison. I know he's gonna get out of the prison, but it was still so well done that like I was still like engrossed in it. And I think that that is a sign of, something that is very, very good. You know what ultimately happens to the character, but you're still like locked in the whole time anyway.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think the main thing I appreciated was the fact that it just kind of went through different genres, um, all in one season. Because you had the different arcs. The first
Hmm.
three episodes were just kind of like establishment, kind of thing, and then you had the heist arc that was 3 episodes. You had the interlude with episode 7, where everyone kind of goes their separate ways, and then you had the prison break arc,
Yep.
where it's mostly in a prison, um, prominently, and then you
One
have the
way out.
one.
One way out.
Like I still get chills just like thinking about that whole sequence. But then you get the final 2 episodes, which are just like, we're just gonna make, well, basically all cops are bastards. We're just gonna lean as heavily into that as we possibly can, and it's fucking great. I love
It's
it.
great. I was a big fan. We are also today going to talk about some Pokemon stuff, but I wanted to run through some Andor related questions real quick. The first one Bailey kind of alluded to, and this is the question that's really maybe the most important question in all of Star Wars fandom, and is the question of do bricks and screws belong in Star Wars?
I Yeah, I saw this floating around as I guess, a dumb meme. It's the Star Wars theory guy, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but Chin.
But yeah, fucking God, butt chin. I hate that guy. I cannot stand just
he
looking at him. But why
oh
is that? I
god.
mean, I know it's just pure stupidity, but like when I saw that, I was like, that's not serious, right? Like that was just a joke.
It
And
was
then I saw that
serious.
it
No,
was
it was a
serious, and I'm
hundred
like,
percent
why?
serious.
I'm
Yeah.
like, literally look anywhere. Why would they not
Episode
have
like yeah, like
screws? What?
Naboo,
Yeah,
the
I saw. I've
prequels.
seen
I
that. Yeah,
mean,
the
like
prequels. Yeah, they're
It's
filmed in
literally
real
one of
world
those.
locations too. So,
Right. Yeah.
and it's just
People
like,
were
yeah, you're
pointing
so
that
dumb.
out. Well, yeah, they were pointing out like multiple examples of just like, hey, these things have been around in Star Wars. Why weren't you mad at them then? And, calling him out and basically saying, you're just looking
Mm-hmm.
for a reason to hate the
yeah.
show that a majority of like your fans and followers collectively like. They're most of the people watching his little shows about Andor, which already he said he wasn't going to talk about because he didn't like it, but he still talked about it anyway because,
Well, sure,
that's what gets you views.
right?
People
Because
were
it's
watching
popular.
it Well, exactly. Yeah, they were watching it just so that they could hear how dumb his opinion on the show was going to be. Because
So
every week it
dumb.
was like another thing to be like, "Oh yeah, Andor's bad because of like this and this and this," and it's just like those
Yeah.
have always been present in Star Wars. Why haven't you
Yeah.
complained about these things whenever Mando did it, or when Book of Boba Fett did it, or the prequels did it? You
Well,
know?
isn't he, Zach? You probably know a little bit more. Isn't he just that general all around like Disney Star Wars era hater?
Yeah.
Yeah,
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 that's
I
what I
think
thought.
that's kind of
With
his
the
thing.
selection of probably like one or two things, but
He's
he,
probably made like 100 videos about the Disney Civil War where they're gonna re they're gonna retcon episodes 7
yeah,
through
yeah,
9.
that dumb
Oh yeah,
They're
shit.
they're
gonna
gonna.
you know
I've seen like things where they're like gonna drag Kathleen Kennedy like out into the
right.
streets and like tar and feather her, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, bro,
Yeah,
calm
people
And
they
down.
and then
want
you
Ryan
hear
Johnson to make the new trilogy. They're like
and then you
erase
hear
your.
No,
his
I don't. I was gonna say I don't think he wants that. I think he is like very much against that.
I know, but everybody because he did episode 8, right?
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, and he
and he
was
was signed on
originally
for a trilogy.
supposed to get a trilogy, and everybody latched on to that, which was just so strange. It's so
What?
strange that everybody thought that they wanted a Ryan Johnson trilogy, but also at the same time everybody was shitting on all of the new movies. I'm like, he did one of those new movies, but yet you want him to do a trilogy? I can't understand
Well,
this.
that quickly changed because I think there were a lot of people like who wanted it initially because Last Jedi, upon initial release, was received well. It was like after maybe the first 2 weeks that we started seeing like all of the negative criticisms rolling in and the actual like divisiveness of the film. And that's whenever they pretty much kind of sort of shoved the whole like Ryan Johnson trilogy thing into the back. And they've just never talked about it since. And it just seems to have quietly died out because they've seen the fan reaction. Okay, so story about Ryan Johnson. I went to go see Glass Onion, the Knives Out
Why?
sequel.
Why didn't you just
Because
wait till that was on Netflix? You
Yeah, for
I
silly
real.
could,
freak.
but I love Knives Out and I wanted to see this movie on the big
But you
screen.
didn't see
And
Knives
I
Out on the
did.
big screen.
True.
I saw Knives Out on the big screen. It was great. And I wanted to see Glass Onion because I
Mm.
love that movie. It's in my top 15 favorite films of all time, and Glass Onion was
Burning.
great. But then after the movie was done, I was waiting in the lobby for my sister to get out of the bathroom, and this kid was just talking about like off to his friends about how as soon as he saw Ryan Johnson's name pop up as the director in like the opening credits, he was like, I debated leaving because I hate that man and I hate The Last Jedi so much. But then I watched the movie and I actually really liked it. So maybe he has some talent. And I'm like, if your only exposure to him is watching The Last Jedi, you need to expose yourself to more from that director. So, I don't know. It was just the Ryan Johnson hate for The Last Jedi is so real, like in real life. And it's weird to me. Like a director's allowed to make a bad movie. Like why are you going to let that affect everything else that they make? I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah, I don't like I'm not I don't hate The Last Jedi. It's probably my least favorite of the new trilogy. I don't know when I was hearing people about this Ryan Johnson trilogy, and I personally, at least like I feel like sprinkled in every few months, I still hear something about this Ryan Johnson trilogy. It might not be dead, or there's always some little sprinkle about
Yeah.
it, and I'm just like, oh my god, whatever. Like I don't really want him to get a trilogy. If I'm being honest, we don't need it. We need a more. I like what we're doing right now with the shows and everything. It seems good right now. I don't think we need to push this trilogy of movies just because they want him to. I don't know.
Right.
It just seems unnecessary.
Uh,
I think Last Jedi slaps, but
Oh, it's great.
kind
It's
of went
great.
off on a
I
kind
love
of went
it.
off on a side tangent there.
Just
Um,
talking about how toxicity in the fandom relates to Andor, I guess, where they're always just going to make excuses.
Yeah.
Looking for things to not like. But what are some things that we did like? Favorite character. I say me. I liked Luthen. I thought Luthen was awesome.
Okay, Dad.
Luthen is awesome. Luthen's
Luthen
awesome.
is great. Luthen is great.
So
He's
I liked
fine.
Brasso. I liked Brasso, even
Which
though he
one was
didn't do much.
Brasso?
big guy with the brick who hits the guy in the head.
Okay.
Just Cassian's friend on
Yeah,
Ferrex.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, I kind of had a three-way tie between my favorite
Three-way?
characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I did hold on. I did choose one who I was like, okay, I like this character the most, and that's Kino, played by Andy Serkis.
And that dumbass who couldn't swim.
He
What the
couldn't
What an
swim.
hell?
idiot.
It broke my heart watching that. I was like,
Well, you know he's
no,
dead now.
you tried so hard and got so far, and in the end, it doesn't even matter.
Okay, Lincoln Park.
Jeez.
Did you say I hate Linkin Park?
No, I just said okay, Lincoln Park.
Oh, I was like, aren't they like your second favorite band to Maroon 5?
Okay, you're funny. You're funny. That was a good one.
Not
But
his
no,
ass.
my other two choices were Luthen and also Anvil Guy. I don't know. I just
And
like
Guy with the
guy.
hammers.
I mean, drop the greatest track of 2022.
Oh, dude, and he just punted that dude off the tower.
That stormtrooper sucks at his job.
Bro, yeah, he had all the he totally could have fired that thing, and then he just waited to get up there and get kicked.
Yeah. No, it was. I love that. I love Anvil Guy, and I want him to come back for season 2, or show up in the Mandalorian as like an old, disheveled Anvil Guy who's still kicking ass.
He was
Or
already
Mando
pretty old.
season 3. That's what I want. Did I say season 2? I don't know. Whatever.
Well, let me guess who your favorite character was. My guess is Mon Mothma's husband.
Why would you say that?
I don't know.
Cyril. It's gonna be Cyril.
Who's Cyril?
Simp Cyril.
Oh,
Simp.
the simp.
Who's Cyril? I really don't know anybody's name in this show.
He's the
Simp.
incel. The
Yeah,
simp
the simp who
incel.
wants to get with Deidre.
Oh, the security guard dude?
Yeah, the rent-a-cop. Horny
No,
rent-a-cop.
but at the same time, I kind of like this character. I wouldn't say he's my favorite. I like seeing him get
It's like
so
a character you
obsessed
love
with
to
him.
hate.
Yeah, kind of. I don't know. I don't. There wasn't a. Excuse me. Sorry. There wasn't a character that really stands out that I thought was like, oh, so cool. I mean, Kino was kind of cool, but also he was a little bit of a bitch because he couldn't swim.
Jesus, it's just a character flaw. He
It's
just
a
can't
pretty
do
big
a
character
task.
flaw. I mean, he did so much, and like you said, he got so far. But
Well, that
anyways,
sets him up for maybe an appearance in season 2.
no, that
Who
man's dead.
knows?
That man's
I
dead.
know.
He dead.
He dead.
Yeah.
He got
Close.
turned into Snoke, but I don't know. Andor. I like Andor. He's cool, but
Essie and Ander.
Gassy and Andor. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why people, Dad especially, is so obsessed with that one guy.
Because he has such fire bars. That's the next question.
That speech was annoying.
Favorite episode. I think maybe it was episode 10, the Prison Break episode for
Yeah.
me personally.
That's me. That's
Or the
me.
one right before it. I liked episode 9. It was just tense the whole time. Like you knew something was gonna pop off, but you just didn't know when.
That final line in episode 9, I think, got me really excited for season 10. That moment whenever he realizes like the whole thing is just a part of the system and none of them are getting out. And as they're walking away, he says, it's like how many guards are on each level, and he says never more than 12. That's like the turning point that just makes you go, oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then season 10 pays it off extraordinarily.
Yeah.
Episode 10.
Yeah, I'd probably say Prison Break or maybe the finale. I like them.
Yeah, I liked it when Luthen did his barrel roll with his fucking
That was
laser
cool.
ship
Yeah, his
thing.
his whole ship scene, that was really badass. I like that. a lot.
Okay, so there was a clip in the trailer for this where there's like a ship flying and it has like yellow small lightsabers that are just spinning on the side of a ship.
Oh yeah.
And I
Never seen
don't
that.
think we saw that like at all in the show. I may need to rewatch the trailer or something, but I remember that
I
distinctly.
don't know. All I remember is Dad saying something to me about how Luthen's ship had lightsabers, and I was like, well, those were just lasers he was shooting out of his ship when he did the little
right.
spin thing.
Yeah.
But I didn't see anything about yellow
That ass
lightsabers.
all the same. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
no, still.
I'm excited
very badass.
for where that will go. A couple other speed round questions. Who's a bigger creep, Dr. Gorst or Cyril?
What was? I mean, what I guess I don't really remember. I mean, I know who Gorst is, but what was he doing that was creepy again? Like, what was he saying?
Just like, oh, we have a recording of tortured children. It's so
Oh,
great. Ooh,
okay,
you
yeah, I guess that
know.
is. He was pretty giddy about that.
Yeah,
And
he
is
seemed like
Cyril a creep? I thought he was just a simp.
Yeah,
he's a
he
creepy
was a
simp.
simp. He's stalking
I mean, yeah, he is
Deirdre,
stalking her, yeah.
Yeah.
and she's like, "Hey, stop doing this, or we will literally like,
Bro,
you
but you
know,
know she wants
Also,
it. She's so
also
into
that
it. She,
I think
dude,
maybe at
you,
the end when when he saves her
dude, no,
life.
there was fire in her eyes, bro. I saw it. She wanted him. She saw how
So
dedicated he was, but she
are
had
they gonna
protocol.
bang, and how creepy will it be?
She had protocol. That's why she couldn't. She's like, you can't do this. You can't do this, even though I kind of want it.
She's
Because
gonna
it's hot.
It's
hot.
She's gonna gimp suit him.
Cyril's
up.
hot. That's what she's thinking.
She's gonna gimp suit him for sure.
Oh,
And he's
definitely.
gonna. There's the one
He will
line
be
in
on
there
the
where
receiving
Cyril's, where Cyril's talking to his mom, and he's like, "Try to get into my private box." And
Oh
I'm
yeah,
just
he's like, I put a hair on there, so I
ew.
knew you would. No.
"Ew, why? What's your private box, you weirdo?"
Right. And then he steals from his mom.
He steals from his mom,
yeah,
like some douchebag 12-year-old.
right.
Okay,
I,
couple of.
yeah, no, like between the two, it's like it's hard to choose. I
I'd
think
probably
that's
go
my
Gorse.
It's-
I personally go Gorse.
It's Dr. Gorst.
Yeah.
It's Dr.
Yeah.
Gorst. Cyril is more like an internet incel, and Gorst is more like a goddamn
psychopath.
serial killer.
Yeah.
He's,
Yeah.
he's basically a Nazi experimental torture guy.
Yeah,
I think they
he's-
actually did base him on an actual, you know.
Yeah, they based him on Kanye West.
Oh God.
Actual Nazi Kanye West. I threw away everything that I had that had Kanye on it the other day.
That's
I probably should
good.
have done that a long time
That's
ago.
good.
I was about to say,
I was
like, you've
hoping
been
you
going
would.
through your own character arc of Kanye West, where you were like,
You were
oh
like
yeah,
Kanye God.
is like a genius.
I
love
stopped.
him.
I stopped defending that a long time ago, but now it's like active pushback against.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to at
Like,
this
I'm
point.
I'm not gonna listen to any more of this shit. Oof.
Any cameos you would want to see in season 2? I know a lot of people are happy that this was cameo light or no cameo at all. But what would be some cameos that you would like to see?
Krennic.
I could see Bail Organa popping up in here.
Yeah.
As a legit possibility. I like Caleb's idea of Krennic.
We already have so
I
much
think
Death
that's-
Star going around. I mean, Maya's
Right.
true as well.
Yeah. Pop
Right,
him in
it's-
there.
He was such a
Yeah.
good
Play some
character.
garrisons.
Yes, deploy them, baby.
See, I'm always worried whenever they throw those cameos. Like whenever I saw Saw Gerrera in this, I was like,
Daddy
the thing
Saw.
is, Saw cannot interact with Andor directly. Otherwise, that kind
Yeah.
of breaks
Boys!
a lot of
Deception.
Yeah, exactly. So it was just like, I hope they don't interact, and they didn't. And I think they made a good choice with that. So I think I'd feel comfortable with them being like, yeah, let's throw in Krennic.
Chopper.
If we see Chopper, that'd be fun. Chopper and B2, Chopper and B2 interacting.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, Chopper would bully B2.
He bullied the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Be like, I don't care that your mom died.
Just start zapping him,
Yeah.
and he's just like stuttering the whole way, like no.
What storyline are you most interested going forward? I honestly, just because it's the one that I think we know the least about, I'm really interested to see and it was maybe the least compelling in the season, but that's also maybe what I'm most interested about in season 2. I want to see what the hell's going on with Mon Mothma.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in that, even though like I said, maybe wasn't my favorite part of the show, but like I kind of had like some creepy, like almost kind of like Game of Thronesy secession kind of like airing for political gain, crime. It's weird because obviously
all under the table.
you never see or really hear any about Mon Mothma's family in anything else. So I'm very curious about that. Also, one thing that kind of irked me a smidge is they kind of completely leave the Cassian sister angle.
I was about to say.
There's like one part where Marva's like, dude, she's dead. And then they never say anything about it again. So I'm
Right.
curious to see if they pick that back up.
I'm so I just don't know. Like there was a part of me that whenever they introduced Bix, I was like, is Bix maybe his sister and hiding? Like maybe Marva picked her up and brought
Yeah,
her
but they
back
totally
somehow. But
banged, so
right, that would be terrible. It'd be Game of
maybe
Thrones.
some old
Uh,
boy shit right there.
yeah, no, but like whenever that scene happened, I was like, I'm gonna throw that theory out the window for now
Yeah.
because I don't think Disney is gonna be like, yeah, let's
Uh,
Game of Thrones this
Marva
shit.
would have had a duty to step in there and make sure that that did not happen.
Right. Uh, but yeah, no, I'm kind of hoping like we get a little bit of closure to that because that's what kicked everything off here
Yeah,
is him searching for his sister and killing two Imperials who were harassing him about it.
rent a cops.
Like, yeah, the Rent-A-Cops. Oof.
Um, season two is going to span the course of 4 years. This is not an original idea. This is an idea that I stole off the internet. In terms of like how they would structure it, what do you guys think if they did basically 3 episode arcs that were like that spanned a year? Like so, there's 12 episodes supposed to span 4 years, so every 3 episodes is like 1 year. Do you think that would be like a good way to kind of cut it up? Like it feels weird, 12 episodes, 4 years worth of time skips. Like I don't know how they would
I I think
cover
that
all
could be
that.
good. My big thing is now that we're thinking about this kind of just popped in my head. I don't want them with these how we'll assume 12 episodes just to be safe here. And with the 4 year time span, I don't want them bouncing back and forth, like going forward and then backwards and then forward and then backwards. That's just going to be annoying to me. Just
Yeah, just
to
go
go one
start
year
to
at a
finish.
time. Yeah, I like that. Maybe 3 episodes a year is fine with me. However they want to split it up is fine. Just don't do a lot of back and forth shit. It's just unnecessary.
We've already
Unnecessary.
gone through flashbacks with like
And a
past
flashback is
history.
totally fine, but
Oh,
I'm talking like
oh,
dedicated
that
episode going back and forth. It's just annoying.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Flashbacks is totally reasonable. I don't mind that.
yeah, that would
I
be
I think with like a 4 year span, like with maybe 3 episode arcs, it would I don't know, it would confuse a lot of people if we start doing like back and forth time jumps
Yeah, it's
and
not
stuff like
necessary.
that. Yeah, no. So I think like going forward they could just be like, let's just tell the story we need to tell to get us to where we see Andor at the beginning of Rogue One,
Right.
you know.
Yep.
So, but hey, K2SO
Yeah.
potentially confirmed. Like it would be stupid to not include
Yeah, it
him.
would
he'll
be dumb
he'll
not
be
to.
in there for sure, for
Plus,
sure.
I was gonna say Alan Tudyk is like in Disney's back pocket for anything and everything.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Where do you guys put this if you had to rank off the top of your head live action Star Wars shows? There's now 4 of them. Um,
Probably number
where
2.
Yeah,
I
I'd
think it's
put it
number
at
2 for
two.
me also.
It's the funny thing about this is like whenever
What's
you
your
have an
number one
opinion
though?
on
Our number one's the same.
Mine's
Mando.
Mando.
Nah, Kenobi.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
I
fair.
thought that would be yours.
Yeah.
I was gonna say with like media opinions and stuff like that, it's more complex than I think a lot of people assume at face value, because you can watch something and think this is the greatest movie or show of all time, but you still have a personal favorite. So for me, I love Mando. I don't think it's as
Mando.
compelling and well made as Andor. I think Andor is like overall better, but I would much prefer to watch Mando again because it's just Star Wars pure fun.
Mm-hmm.
That's my number one. Even if I recognize it's maybe not as good as Andor, I still like it more.
Yeah, I get that.
Who's sexier, Din Djarin or Cassian Andor?
Din.
Like a
I
man in
might,
uniform.
I might go Cassian. We just see his face more. I mean, I know Pedro Pascal. I can picture him, but
Yeah.
I don't think Pedro
Or like
Pascal's ugly. But I don't think that he's.
or
I
like
think Andor is.
Pedro Pascal.
Ander.
Yes, he Andor.
Sit on the face, Ander.
Oh my God.
Strap me to your jetpack and fly me around.
Cassian
And
Andor, more like Assian Andor.
more like smash or pass Ian Andor.
Okay.
More
Yeah.
like Gigaton Smash or whatever that one Pokemon's move is.
Transition into Pokemon.
Transition.
Pokemon.
Gotta catch 'em all. Uh, man. No wonder only one person from Sweden listened to this podcast. This is
Uh,
this is why other countries hate America. This right
because of
here,
us specifically.
specifically us.
Yeah. Like there's so many people who do listen to the podcast, but they just like they're like, God, I fucking hate these guys. Let me
Yeah.
just put this on for 2 seconds and then leave.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm gonna be
Um,
amazed if anyone actually listens to this full episode after my amazing intro.
I will.
ugh, dedicated listener. Okay, well, we were going to talk about Pokemon Scarlet Violet, a game I have not played because I have been
God.
giggity grind in God of War Ragnarok,
funny.
which I will say is fucking awesome.
Yeah,
God
you
of
and
War
everybody
Ragnarok.
else on the planet. We already know.
Yeah, more like God of War Rag my rock, you know?
Yeah.
Nice.
I tried.
kinda
Yeah, no, Kratos is hot. Kratos is burly
Hot,
dude
you
there.
say?
Oh yeah.
He's
Interesting.
daddy.
Yeah, I mean,
Never really thought him as hot, but okay.
he could choke me out anytime, you know? Well, that's not what we're here to talk about. Even
No.
though I will say, last year we did hype lists for or like our top 10 things that we're most excited about. I think we should go back and look at those at some point, maybe in our next hype list episode
That's
when
a
we
good
do
idea.
that. Just kind of
Oh.
a recap. I had God of War Ragnarok as my number one, and I've not been disappointed so far. But you guys do have Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. What's what's the deal on that? You know, from what I've seen as a person who hasn't played the game, I've seen some people say if it was not super buggy, it would be the best Pokemon game ever made. And then I've seen some people say that it's pretty mid. I've seen some people say that the glitchiness is game breaking and ruining
No,
at times.
No, it's so
No.
not.
Just where are you guys at with everything, and what are your thoughts on just sort of the game overall?
The performance
Caleb,
issues.
which edition did you get?
I have them both now.
You have them both. Okay.
I do. I got
have
Scarlet
Violet.
first. I got Scarlet first.
Nice. Gotcha.
The performance issue, I just want to say that right away. Yeah, people are drumming that up. It's insane. Don't get me wrong. It's annoying, and I do wish that they would have maybe waited a little bit. I understand that it wasn't even a full year from the last Pokemon game from Arceus, so like we could have waited a little bit longer if that helped maybe polish the game up, but it's not game breaking. I'm used to like I would always tell people who'd ask me about it, like I played Skyrim on the PS3, and that was the laggiest piece of shit, and it crashed all the fucking time. I'm just
And it was
used to it.
still amazing.
And it was still amazing. So like I can look past the performance issues. It really doesn't bother me too much. But I don't know, it was a good game. I say a 7.5, a strong 7.5 out of 10. And I think that's a good 7.5. What about you, Bailey?
Honestly, yeah, I think I agree with that rating. Like without the bugs and without the glitches, I think it would be higher. But even then, it's like those bugs and glitches are, for me, they're part of the game's like personality and charm at this point. Because
Yeah, it's just
the
what
memes
it is.
about the glitches are,
Those are
really
great.
fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've
they're
seen some
they're
weird stuff.
amazing.
I saw
Yeah.
one where the little white Diglett thing like came out of the ground and looked like it was going through the
There's a-
guy, and it looked like it was
yeah.
his dick.
Yep.
I've never had anything
was-
that weird happen to me. Just a little bit of
Yeah.
flag.
I've had stuff like that where they throw out the Pokemon, and the Pokeball is like sitting in the middle of the battlefield. And
Really?
it's just like
I've not
yeah,
had anything
it
weird
just
like
like
that
sits
happen.
there and it's just like this is weird. Okay, but no, I haven't had like game breaking glitches. I mean, I've watched Pokemon like walk off cliffs, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh god, no.
Yeah, I've seen Chanseys. Dude, Chanseys run away from me all the time, and they will just straight up suicide off cliff. It's insane. I'm like, okay.
It's funny. I love. Okay, that's another thing about it. It's like the Pokemon in the wild do have distinct
They
personalities.
do, yeah.
Because I've had that happen where a Chansey will like run away
And they're
mostly,
fast.
but at the same time, every now and again, you get a Chansey who comes over to you and will actively like come up to you and like walk next to you, and it's like, oh, this is a Chansey that's not afraid of people and is just like it doesn't want to attack me. It just wants to like stand next to me.
Yeah, yeah, I like when
Um,
Pokemon just kind of watch you.
Oh yeah, whenever you battle a Pokemon, it's like I will turn around and look at all the Pokemon standing around me, and they react to the battle is what I've noticed. Like one time I did a move that completely missed, and all the Pokemon had like question marks pop up over their head.
Yeah,
They
Started
just like,
laughing at you.
yeah, no, they
basically.
were like, what the heck? And then whenever I win, like they start cheering. Like some of them like they make their noise, their little happy stances, and I'm like, this is awesome. Like what?
Yeah,
It's
and
been
go ahead.
so good.
Yeah, I loved just like kind of just seeing all the different Pokemon. Like even like for instance, I came across, I was very lucky. It was very late game though, but I came across a shiny Golduck, and he was
Oh,
literally just chilling asleep underneath a tree. Like he had his like hands behind his back and his legs kicked back, and he was just sleeping underneath a tree. And his shiny isn't really anything impressive. And so like when I first saw him, I didn't even think he was shiny. I just thought it was like the lighting underneath the tree. I was like,
yeah.
and so like I battled a Pokemon first, and then he stood up after the battle ended, and he was watching. And I'm like, I think that guy might be shiny. And then I ran into him, and he
Yeah.
was. I was like, holy shit, that's cool.
I was gonna say that's the one thing that I think a lot of people are getting pissed about with shinies is they don't make the shiny ding sound when they're out in the wild like
Yeah,
they
they
did.
need to do that, unless because like
Yeah,
there are so many shinies that don't look different enough.
I was gonna say like there's literally a tracker in your Pokedex that will let you know like how many shinies you have battled or encountered or something like that.
I haven't checked
And
mine yet
people
because
are
I'm too afraid to.
yeah, no, people are looking at it and they're just like, I literally have only caught and battled one shiny, but my Pokedex is telling me like, hey, there are like five that I've like been in the vicinity of. And I'm just like, I get so mad at that. And I get that. I think a big part of what people are so upset about with the games and their bugginess and like the general um, disappointment is the fact that Pokemon is the highest grossing franchise of all time, and they are still having these issues when they release the game. Like these buggy issues. People are even complaining about like not having voice acting in the
I
game,
don't
which
want voice acting in
I
Pokemon.
I
Yeah, I
personally
don't need
don't want
that.
There are
voice
some
acting.
games that just would not benefit from it, and that is one of them.
And one of these bits, one of these storylines, I think there's like a joke that they have kind of pertaining to that about the lack of voice acting, where a character says something and they're like, "I don't like your tone. Don't talk to me like that." Or they'll say something and it's like, "Hey, stop yelling," but the character is like very bland and muted and they didn't do like all caps or anything. And I'm like, "See, that's part of the charm of it is like it's all in the writing and the delivery without spoken word. It's
Yeah.
fun."
Like they added
Oh,
voice acting to
yeah.
Breath of the Wild. I don't like it. Zelda games never had voice acting really. Like we don't.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's just weird.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All you need.
Just like with Mario, you don't need Mario to actually talk like a normal person. Just give
He's
me a few
normal now.
wahoos and yahoos.
Yeah.
Uh, this is going to turn into another hate on Chris Pratt episode real soon if we don't get back on track.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
get
No.
back to Pokemon.
I was gonna say, I do want to talk about one thing I kind of had that was a complaint is there was a little bit of backtracking in a couple aspects in the character customization. I did not like that we were confined to the
Yes.
shittiest 4 outfits in the entire world.
Yeah.
And it's like literally
You can only like
get leggings.
customize your socks and shoes
Yeah,
and gloves
and the only
hats and
they have
glasses.
pants, but they're exclusively like women's leggings. Like a guy can wear them in the game, but like it
Yeah,
looks
clothes
weird.
don't have gender.
But it just looks weird on like a more boyish character. You know what I mean? It's just bad customization on that.
Yeah.
And then also, I thought this is maybe a personal thing, and not every game does this, so I can't be too mad, but I am a little bit. I felt like we backtracked on version exclusives. Like there were
Yeah.
no gym leader or elite four differences between the games, which really upset me because that is like one of my favorite things. I love it. Like Sword and Shield, I think had two different gym leaders that were different between the two games, and this had none. I was like,
Yeah.
what are we doing here? Like this is like the perfect game to do that since it's like so open and free roamy. I'm like, how did we not have anybody different? The only characters that were different were the professors, and that really didn't make a difference. It was,
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
it was
kind of
just,
goes into another question that I sort of kind of ties in a little bit. Like, what was your guys' thoughts on the open world? Like, I know from what I've heard, there's basically like three storylines that you can complete like in
there are
any order.
three storylines that you have to complete, and
Okay.
you can do it
Yeah.
in any order technically, but there is a very
It's
strong recommended order,
level cap, yeah,
and
Yeah.
that's
because
that's
they don't
something
they don't
that,
adjust the levels.
yeah, I don't really like. It's cool. It's like an illusion of free roam, and like
Okay,
you
yeah.
can
Yeah.
go in any order, but like it's
But
kind
you're
of
going to
dumb
be going
to
up
go in
against
any
level
order.
40s.
Right.
I was gonna say, like, right after you beat the recommended first gym, which is like
Bug.
I can't remember if it's like grass or
It's
bug,
bug.
but it's like one of the weaker types. But like right around the corner, you could literally just go up the hill and go right to the recommended eighth gym leader. So as soon as you go up that
I think
hill,
it's the
you start
seventh. Or no, yeah, I think it is the eighth. Yeah, it's either seventh or
Yeah,
eighth,
yeah, 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 yeah. Because it's the one on
It's the
the
psychic
mountain. You have to
lady.
go through the cave.
Yeah.
Psychic, yes. So you do have to. It's like you go up the hill and you bump into a trainer. You're like, I'm gonna battle them, and they throw out like level 40
Yeah,
Pokemon.
you're like, oh shit.
And you're sitting there and you're like, I have level 16s. Why am I able to access you right around the corner from the
Right.
weakest gym?
Yeah, so it's like that's a little upsetting. Like I wish they had some sort of level progression where you could really go in any
Yeah.
order you want.
But that's one of the good things that I actually appreciated is they took that into account. You can run away from trainer battles.
You can
Did
run
you
away
know
from.
that?
I did not know that. You can actually just
Yeah,
back
yeah,
out
yeah.
of trainer
So if
battles.
you bump into a trainer,
I
that
knew
is, like,
all
way
trainer
too
battles were
powerful for you.
optional, which was cool, but
Yeah. So it's like even more optional. I didn't realize it because the game doesn't tell you it directly. But I like was sitting there looking at it and I'm like, oh, I can run away from the trainer battle? Like if it's not like a gym leader that
Right,
you've
right.
actively gone up against. But it's like if you bumped into a trainer out in the wild and they're way too overpowered for you, you can run away and be like, I'm
I
gonna
did not
come
know
back
that.
to this person when I'm stronger.
I
But
did not know that. I loved the
Yeah.
auto battling in the overworld. That was very fun.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah,
And I'll say this: I didn't
Makes grinding
play.
easier.
I didn't play Legends Arceus, and I don't know how similar that they are necessarily. But after playing and getting this grasp on the free roam of this game, it kind of does make me want to actually go back and play Legends Arceus because
yeah.
I didn't skip
Here's-
it because I was boycotting it like I do some Pokemon games. I just there were a few things about it, and it was bad timing when it came out. I just never got around to getting it. But now
my
I might.
my thing about Legends Arceus, especially going into Scarlet and Violet, is it kind of spoils you because you literally can play the game without ever battling another wild Pokemon. You could literally sneak up on a wild Pokemon, throw a ball at them while they're distracted by a berry that you've thrown earlier, and catch them at like any point. So it kind of makes me wish like you had that element in this game where if you saw Pokemon because they have a sneak mechanic,
Yeah,
like
sorta, yeah.
I kind of wish that you could like sneak and throw a Pokeball and try to capture it, and then maybe if the capture fails, then you immediately go into a battle. Like I wish it were that mechanic. Because otherwise, in Legends Arceus, if you don't catch that Pokemon, it's gonna turn around and hyper beam you, the player, in the face, and actually like kill you. So it's like going into Scarlet and Violet. There's a lot of things that I was like, I have to shake that element of Legends Arceus off because it's back to regular mainline Pokemon games.
Yeah, yeah. It's cool. It's definitely fun, and I I've technically not to full completion. I've technically only fully completed the game once, but I played through Scarlet myself. Then I played through Violet with Charlie, and then before we got Violet, we also played through Scarlet. So like I've played this game essentially 3 times now.
Oh yeah.
And holy shit,
Have you
there's
guys?
there's so much clicking in the game. Like how
Right.
how can Pokemon at this point not have an option to where just let me hold down the start button or the A button for like 5-10 seconds and then just start speeding through all of this text? Like if you've played the game before, like why do I have to sit through and slowly click? It's endless. It's horrible. It's a nightmare. Like it's probably just
I heard
because
this
I
game
played
was
the game
much.
3 times, but
I was gonna say I heard this game was a lot better with like dragged out like cutscenes and like stuff
They're
like
they're
that.
actually kind of fun to watch. Like I actually found
not after
myself
3 times.
not no,
But, like,
not
I
after
know-
3 times. No.
Yeah.
No,
But,
one
like,
complaint Caleb had about like Sun and Moon, I think a lot of people did, was like it seemed like every hour there was like
yeah, no, it
big
wasn't
chunk of
to that
dialogue,
degree.
you know?
It wasn't like you're not getting spammed with cutscenes all the time like that. It's just that like with like I guess like the Titan Pokemon, it was the same shit every time, and you could literally do the Titan Pokemon in any order. It didn't matter. You were getting the same cutscene in the same order every single time. In those cutscenes, there were just a lot of clicking. It was long. It was drawn out, and like every single Titan had one. Every single gym leader, all this stuff had something. There was just a lot of clicking, and I did it 3 times. I'm just dry. I'm just dry. I've done it so many
no,
times.
no,
but
no. And I totally get that. Mike, hold on. I do have a question, mainly for Caleb. What was your favorite path to follow?
the gym leaders. That's always my favorite thing.
Okay.
Always my favorite.
I enjoyed that.
But I gotta
I
be honest,
just-
I didn't really care for most of the gym leaders. They were kind of boring.
I will say I really
But
liked like no spoilers. I really like Larry.
Larry's the best. Yes, Larry's the
Larry's
only
the
one I
best
liked.
gym leader.
He's
I
the
love Larry.
only one I liked. Yeah, the
And
gym leaders.
frankly,
were a little boring.
he's the one that I've heard people had like quite a lot of problems like beating.
Really.
Yeah, it's mainly because like
real
the
issue.
type advantage against him.
Wasn't
The
he normal?
Pokemon that have those type advantages, not a lot of people want to use, or
Hmm.
they were just like they're a cooler Pokemon to catch.
Yeah.
And whenever you go up against them, you're like, oh crap, I probably should have got those.
Oh yeah, he's
and
got the
raised them up."
Dunsparce.
Ugh.
yeah,
But
They were.
no,
Go ahead.
I like Larry.
Yeah, Larry was definitely my favorite. I don't know about you. I really hated that I'm basically either before or after pretty much every single gym leader, like either before or after you fight them, you got bombarded by somebody from the Elite Four trying to talk to you.
Yeah.
And it was annoying. Like you made me hate the Elite Four before I even got to fight them. Like this was a pretty weak ass Elite Four. Like I don't think I like any member besides obviously. Spoiler alert, Larry. Sorry, Zach. But yeah, so Larry makes a reappearance in the Elite Four, and I don't even really know why necessarily. I didn't really catch why they wanted to reuse him. I was fine with it. It was cool.
Do you know why? Because he's overworked businessman and he has to work multiple jobs.
Is that why? I just kind of
Yeah, no, they were like we want to make the most pathetic, bland, normal
Soulless.
guy who has like real world problems. And so they did. And I think my favorite part about like the Elite Four in general, and even the gym leaders, is they complain about the champion. They're just like,
Oh, Geeta?
God. Yeah, they're like, God, she's such a bitch. I fucking hate working for her.
she was
like,
a pretty bland, like just she had a disappointing team. I don't know.
oh yeah, no,
just the
I
whole Elite
won't
Four
say
was-
what her ace is, but her ace is something that she should have started the battle with to make it more difficult, because I one-shot it at the very end of the battle.
Oh well, because
and then it did like its toxic spike spread, and
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah, because they save it for
Oh.
the end because of the Terra shit.
right, and
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there, I'm like, wait,
You should have
Why
done
did-
that soon. Yeah,
it's like you should have started with that.
yeah.
Like
yeah,
give
that
her
was-
a different ace. Like give her a different ace.
Yeah, she had
And
a
have her
lame
lead
ass
with that
team.
other one, and
She
it would have
kinda
been
had
a
lame team.
significantly difficult battle.
Yeah,
But oh well.
yeah. Yeah. It was just some of the characters were like Larry was like the only standout of all of them in my opinion. But I still liked I liked the idea and setup of it that like you're at school, and even though it was kind of a dumb idea, like a treasure hunt,
you can
go find your
attend
treasure. You can
classes.
do like, but I just like the idea of going out and doing whatever the hell you want. I thought that was kind of
Yeah.
interesting. It was a fun idea to play with. I don't
Hold on.
necessarily think we have to get it again, like in the next game, but
Right. Did you attend like all of the Pokemon classes at the
no,
school?
I did a couple of them
Oh.
once. Like I did I talked to Hazel to get like the Dragon Terra shards, and I did a few of the
Mhm.
classes, but not
Yeah,
everything.
I
No.
was gonna say doing the classes will unlock like some of the quests, like
Yeah.
the four legendaries that are in the game.
Oh yeah, like the
You,
weird stakes too that you have to pull out of the ground.
yeah, they have a history class kind of thing, and you get the quest from that class in particular that
Mm.
opens up. So I actually really kind of like that. And some people are even speculating because like whenever you take those classes and you talk with the professors and all the teachers and staff, like you build a relationship with all of them.
Yeah.
Like you are closer with this person. You you fully trust this person. They fully trust you. And everyone's like, I wonder if this is a mechanic that's going to be like something they're going to deep dive explore in whatever the next Pokemon game is.
I
Because it
have no
just
idea.
seems like interesting that they're kind of setting up this whole relationships with NPCs kind of thing. But
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know. I gotta ask you. I know you haven't played Scarlet necessarily. I did Alex get Scarlet by chance?
Alex got Scarlet.
He
And
did.
I kind of know like
Yeah.
a
Well,
lot
there's
of the
really
stuff
not
about it.
too
But,
much of a difference between the two.
right. Just the professors.
The professors
That's pretty
and
much it.
the
Pseudo
paradox.
or the legendaries and the
The
paradox
paradox. And
ones.
I gotta be. This is why I was originally going Violet, and I ended up switching to Scarlet when they first came out. And I'm glad I did because I think
Good
Scarlet's better.
choice.
Uh, I think versus the past versus future element of the two games, the past one, the Scarlet one, is just way better.
Yeah.
They're paradox Pokemon, yes, but like the Violet ones, they're just fucking robots. They
They're
border
robot
on the
versions.
line
Yeah.
of Ultra Beasts to where like they're not really Pokemon, but I will still obviously consider paradox Pokemon, and Ultra Beasts are not Pokemon, but like
Yeah.
just the prehistoric forms versus the futuristic robot forms, I just think it looks and sounds so much better. So much
That's
better.
the general consensus is I think people really liked those editions. And I think my big disappointment with Violet was I was expecting more. Yeah, you could have some robots like a Mecha Godzilla Titanus, or not Titanus,
Tyranitar.
Tyranitar
Yeah.
is totally fine. Like I get that one. But there were other ones where I was like, this would have been cool if it was like more like a cybernetic enhancement or a cyborg
I'm
of
like, yeah, how did
some
this
form.
Hirayama how is this Hirayama not just a robot now?
Yeah.
And
No, ugh.
whether it's past or present, I hate the names. All of,
Yeah,
like, Iron
well,
Treads.
the violet ones
Iron
are
Thorn.
always like they're iron this,
Yeah.
iron this, iron this. It's
they're
like,
all
can we
bad.
get creative?
They're all
Whereas like
bad.
you like Scarlet is like ancient tusk
Yeah.
and like screaming tail or
Yeah, Screaming
cool
Tail,
things. I'm like,
But
this
even
is
then,
fun. This feels like
those
Pokemon.
are. It's like why if they're literally just a prehistoric Jigglypuff or a prehistoric whatever, why not just still call it that? You know that that's a prehistoric version of that. And also, I obviously know that they're not in the game, but what I don't like about the past and the future of the Paradox Pokemon is where's my Paradox fan fee? I have a Paradox Dawn fan, and if
Yeah.
I breed him, I'm just going to get a Paradox Dawn fan. It doesn't make sense. There's no
Right.
baby evolutions for these Pokemon. It's just like, and Tyranitar is a 3-stage Pokemon, and you can just get this Iron Treads Tyranitar. You can't you know what I mean? I don't like that. I don't like that.
You know what I had a problem with. This is probably like big spoilers. So Zach, you may want to duck out. If you want, we'll message you whenever we're not spoiling.
Is it about the professor?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about it?
Zach, are you ducked out?
I don't really care.
Yeah, I
that
don't think he
much.
cares.
It's fine.
Okay. Cool. You don't care. Cool. So, the professors have the exact same plot,
Yeah. Between games.
and
yeah.
I think the plot works better for the professor from Violet, but then the professor from Scarlet, I was like, oh, I wonder how different it's going to be because
She's still.
Professor Yeah, because the
Yeah.
professor from Violet, it turns out he was an AI robot
Right.
that was enhanced with the memories, and he gets like a corrupted virus
Mm-hmm.
and tries to protect the time machine and everything. But then they just did the same thing for the past
Yeah.
professor,
And
and I'm
she looks
like,
all prehistoric and not futured out, but yet she's still a robot.
she's still a and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I
It just it
I
that
wish they
that
would have
story
like
didn't fit. I agree. It will fit better for Violet than it did Scarlet.
right, because I'm like, I know which way the anime is gonna go. They're gonna make that the priest or the future professor he's gonna be the bad
Yeah.
guy
Yeah.
who is gonna be the robot, and she is probably going to be like a normal professor and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And
but
that's
yeah, it was
that's
just
kind of where I thought it was going at first when we were in Area Zero and they first talked
mhm,
about how there were two of the whatever your legendary is in the game. When they first
yeah,
said that, I thought, okay, this is cool. I was theorizing that whatever professor you have is the good one, and you have that legendary. I have the red legendary. And when they said
mhm,
that there was a second one, I thought for sure, I was thinking like there was a big fight so many years ago between two professors, and in Scarlet, we'll say I had Scarlet version, that the Violet professor was bad, and he actually had like the Violet legendary, and so like he was kind
yeah,
of evil with the Violet legendary, and you had to
and
help
took
the
over.
yeah, exactly, and that's where I thought we were going to get both professors in both games, and they were going to be role reversed versus on which game you got, but that's not what happened at all, and I was
No,
disappointed. I think
I
my
I
idea would have been way better.
I kind of wish like maybe the past professor could have been like, I don't know, just corrupted or insane,
Yeah,
driven
just maybe
driven
not a
mad by
robot.
isolation
Yeah,
instead of being a robot.
yeah.
Just let them be insane, and then whenever you battle them with all of their paradox forms, and they like sacrifice themselves, it's just like, well, you've proven to me that like it's just not gonna work out here. Let me go to the past and
And
be with
stop
these
this. Yeah,
Pokemon or
exactly.
something like
Yeah,
that.
that would have worked
Yeah,
so
it
much
is.
better. But I
And
guess
then of
they needed the
course,
impact for Arvin, though. I guess they couldn't have done that if they were still alive.
right?
So
It just feels weak.
it
It feels
does.
like a
It
weak
does.
cop
It's
out.
not perfect. It's not perfect. That's why 7.5.
I'm
That's why I give this
well.
game a
That's why
7.5.
I'm hopeful for a DLC.
Oh, we will get
Hopefully
DLC.
cheap, because there's so many books that keep alluding to a hexagonal crystal Pokemon, and it's just kind of like we never see something like that in the game, but it
Yeah.
seems so important to the research and the plot at hand in that finale, and I'm just kind of like,
Well,
this is
I
gonna be a
I'm
DLC
theorizing,
thing.
yeah, because we got DLC on Sword and Shield, and I only played the first one. The second one was
I
all.
didn't play either.
The first one was fine. The second one was just all if you care about hunting down legendaries, which I don't give a shit about. So I didn't play it.
Right.
But we'll definitely get DLC, and I think it'll probably be based. I think at least if we get two, I think at least one will be heavily based around more Paradox Pokemon. So I think we'll get more stuff with Area Zero, perhaps, and also we didn't get at least yet. I don't think we've gotten like a third legendary like there is in every game. Basically, there's like
Right.
the two, and then there's the third one. So maybe we'll get some weird other form of those legendaries. I don't know in the DLC or something, but yeah, we'll definitely get
I
DLC.
find it interesting how the book's legendaries are just paradox forms of Cyclizar,
Yeah, it's like okay,
old Pokemon that's like out and about and running around that you can catch
is
pretty much
somehow a
anywhere.
legendary.
And I'm just like, those two are. See, that's what I thought is like maybe Cyclizar was gonna evolve
That's what I did
into.
too because I saw Cyclizar before the games were out, and I was like, how does this guy not evolve? I was just like, what?
Yeah,
I was like, he's
and
just a
no,
single
it's just
stage.
a one stage normal dragon.
And can
I'm
you
like,
ever
okay.
actually ride a Cyclizar in the game?
No,
I didn't
you
think so
can't.
either, which is like, I mean, why would you want to? Because you have your legendary, but like, I just thought at some point you were going to be able to do that.
Well, I thought in post game, after you power up your legendary and can actually battle with them,
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was going to be a situation where if they were in their battle form,
You could ride a
like
Cyclizar.
maybe they would open up to, hey, you can ride other Pokemon
Mhm.
as
Yeah,
well if
I
you
did
want
too.
to.
Oh,
But
and another thing I was disappointed in a little bit is in the very beginning of the game starts out, and your box art legendary is zooming through the air, flying
yeah,
around, and you never can do that in the game. You have the
Yeah.
shittiest glide in the world, and you fall instantly.
You fall after like maybe 15 seconds of
If
actual
that,
air
yeah,
time.
it's so disappointing. Like, how can we not fly?
Also, the intro. Sorry, like we're just going off about like little things
Yeah,
now
it's
because
just the little
it's a
things.
good game.
It's a good game.
Good game.
The
Yeah,
little
like I
things.
want to get that clear. Like this is, as people have said, I think it's accurate. Without like all of the bugs and the fact that this is like the biggest franchise of all time, and it's just kind of like unacceptable for this, uh, like a release like this to happen with all of these like buggy things.
It's just never happened,
But
really.
yeah, no, exactly. But it's still a great game. I
Yeah.
think it's true that, without the bugs, without all that, this would be considered possibly the best Pokemon game of the past decade.
Quite possibly, maybe, yeah.
Possibly.
And I mean,
But-
look at me. I've literally played it 3 times now. It's a good game.
Yeah. No,
I'm griping
like,
about it,
I'm
but it's a
actually-
good game.
I kind of want to go back and replay it.
You should, because there's so
and
many
start
team
over.
options. I loved the decks. I loved all the new Pokemon they added.
Yes.
So fun.
I just hate the fact that the flamingo, is
Yeah.
like actually really good, and I'm like, I just don't want to use it out of principle. It makes me mad. It's just a flamingo.
Yeah.
Anyway, so in the beginning, box legendary's flying, and they fly past that lighthouse, and something like shines at them, like there's a glint, and it causes them to crash. And, like that's what sets everything in motion. Is like something seems to glint at them, and they crash.
I didn't notice that.
And I was like, oh, did someone do something? Did they know it was coming and they like set something up to cause this? And they never really do anything with that. I guess it just kind of was flying and the light caught the lighthouse
Yeah,
window
it
weird,
must
and
have.
it just caused it to crash and go into a coma until we arrive on that beach. I don't know. I was like, okay, great. I
Yeah.
don't know. Again, nitpicky things. I thought it was gonna be something more, but the fact that like nothing came from it was just like, okay,
Yeah.
we got the box legendary to ride around, but that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys do any of the co-op stuff?
No,
Not
I
yet.
didn't. Yeah, I haven't done it yet.
I do know, like, in order to evolve like the dolphin Pokemon, you have to have someone in co-op.
Yeah, dude,
With
I gotta be
you.
honest, man. I have been pushing for a dolphin Pokemon for years, and I was very disappointed in this one.
The thing is, this one is like
I know he's
it's
good.
it's so gimmicky.
Yeah,
that
it's
I
so
don't
gimmicky, and
think it's
his
worth it.
hero in form or whatever looks horrible. It's so dumb.
You have to bring it out of battle,
And it looks
then
bad.
Put
It just
back
looks bad.
into battle, and it's
And it just looks
it's
bad.
like,
And like his Palazin to Falazin, just the regular evolution, he does not look any different besides like a tiny heart on his chest. Like
yeah,
like
yeah.
his regular, like he looks fine. He looks fine. His regular dolphin looks fine. It's just from evolution to evolution, and then from form to form, it's just I don't know. That's not the dolphin I envisioned.
One thing we did a few weeks back was we did probably more than a few weeks back. We did our own like regional variants / evolutions that we would want to see. We all did 5, and all of us had at least one that actually happened.
Did we?
Caleb, you had that you wanted some kind of Dawn fan.
Oh yeah,
regional
Paradox
variant.
Dolphin, sorta. Yeah, I'll take it.
Illy, you had Dunsparce on yours.
Yep.
And I had Taurus.
Yeah,
on
Taurus.
mine. So
That's cool. Yeah, that is kind of cool.
yeah,
Well,
I thought that was kind of neat.
How do we feel about all of those? What we got?
I mean, the Tauros is dope, and
Yeah.
the Paldean Wooper and Cloudsire is pretty cool. Those were the only 2 Paldean forms. They only had 2 Paldean forms.
I was going
Wooper
to ask if
and
you
Tauros.
had a favorite new Pokemon or favorite variant from the
Annihilate.
game.
Annihilate.
Annihilate was cool. I I really like Tinkaton. Like
That's not a form, is it?
I mean, like
That's
not
just a new
not
Pokemon.
just a favorite new Pokemon.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Sorry, but
Is that the one that looks like the
It's holding a bottle.
Well, no. It's the final evolution, the one that's holding the
Yeah, they got
giant
the
hammer
hammer.
made out of dead
Oh,
corviknights.
okay, okay. I
That one's
gotcha.
actually really fun to play. The one issue that people have with it is the hammer is so big. Whenever you have like a trainer battle that you can't move your camera around in, you can't even see the other Pokemon on the field because its hammer is blocking the way.
Nice.
But
Yeah, I think Annihilate looks hard as fuck,
Yeah,
man.
he's pretty
oh,
sick.
and it's based on like one of those early Dex entries for Primeape where it punches so hard and so angrily that it dies.
Oh, that's cool. I
And
didn't catch that.
yeah, and so they just made it a ghost fighting type because it
Yeah,
punched so hard. It used
that
Rage
is
Yeah, you
cool.
have
Fist
to use
20
Rage Fist
times,
20 times. Yeah, I like that.
and then it
I like
dies, and
those
that's why
little
it evolves.
cool evolutions like that are a little different.
Yeah, I like
I
it.
think my favorite one to date is still Inkay, having to hold the DS upside down to evolve it.
Oh, even in Pokemon Go, like it took me forever to figure that out, and I went, "Oh my god, it's you literally just turn your phone upside down and
It's
press
like,
evolve."
yeah, that's cool.
I was like, "That's good."
It's fun.
Um,
Um,
sorry, I'm gonna say I'm disappointed with my Dunsparce evolution.
yeah, it's
I mean,
just
he doesn't.
bigger.
He does. Well, there's also like that 1 in 25 chance of getting a 3 segment one.
Three,
But yeah,
three.
I mean, he's. I think he's pretty
The
tanky,
rarest
but he's just not.
the rarest Pokemon in the game, they say, is a shiny 3 segment
Yeah,
Dunsparce. And I'm like, God, that just feels like too much work
it is.
for
I would never,
It
never,
does.
ever,
anyone.
never ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
Well,
wish they would have given him like a ground type. That's all.
Yeah, I could see that.
it's a lot. I will definitely pick the game up as soon as I beat God of War. That is my plan. But I've been slow with that. Even I get distracted with side quests.
Right.
Maybe I'm halfway through God of War right now, if I had to guess. But then I'll get Pokemon afterwards. I'm gonna be on the Quaxley team Quaxley, so I'm not sure what
Nice.
you got with there, but
I had all
we
three
do
of them.
have surprise, surprise. Um, we're gonna do a little bit of let's call it pick a
Pokemon.
Pokemon game. It's an idea that Caleb came up with. Obviously, Pokemon follows a lot of different patterns as they have new Pokemon and new regions and things like that. So we were just gonna pick our favorites, pick a Pokemon from a few different I guess types, patterns, if you will.
Yeah, I don't really
So
know the proper
for
word.
example, the first one is what is your favorite regional bird line? Your favorite
Mm-hmm.
regional bird line. I initially just wanted to go classic and do Pidgey, which it was probably um, a little bit of a cliche generic pick there.
No,
Um,
not at all.
but I ended up picking the Corviknight line from Sword and
That's
Shield just
there are
because
so many. Oh,
Corviknight is just. I mean, he just looks hard,
he's
dude.
so
As
hard, bro.
I'm gonna
Flying
say,
Steel, he's just cool.
Yeah,
that was my choice as well.
that was my number
Corviknight.
2.
Just I don't know, like there's nostalgia with Pidgey, but he
Yeah.
just looks so much cooler. Pidgey's like a little bit like obviously, well, Pidgeot looks cool,
Pidgeot,
and I
yeah.
love.
Yeah.
love
And
his,
I
like,
was
hair or
basing,
whatever.
I'm basing this obviously off the whole line in general. But yeah, Corviknight, there are so many good. I love almost all of the regional birds. They're all like I make it a goal of mine to use it every single time. Not every single time, but when the game first comes out, I always use it first playthrough. And I use Pidgey way more often than I should in games. And he's got a dope Mega too. I think his Mega's dope. But yeah,
Mega
Corviknight.
is really cool. Yeah,
Corviknight is just honestly in general, yes, way sicker looking,
he is sick.
and a good type. And I love Talonflame, and I liked the typing of the regional bird in this
Talonflame's
one,
cool.
the flying electric one. Was
Yeah.
pretty cool. I used it. He was a little like he was a 2-stager, which the 2-stage ones are
okay.
always like not as cool as the 3-stage ones usually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like his
Taillow and
typing though.
Swallow.
Yeah.
Next then is favorite regional bugs. Regional bugs.
Bug.
Um, I really love Butterfree.
Bugfree's sick.
I was like, what would be one that's like I like and it's also a little more relevant because like Caterpie and Metapod just aren't very relevant. I think it was kind of a toss up between Butterfree and I also really like Vikavolt.
Oh really? I
Um,
didn't like that one.
Vikavolt, I just like I mean the fact that he has like electric typing early on actually makes him usable. Like it's
Yeah.
such a pain in the ass to have a Metapod on your
Yeah,
team.
that's true.
You
That's
know,
true.
so
Yeah.
I went with probably Vikavolt, and Vikavolt
That's
looks like a freaking cool like jet fighter
I was
I
gonna
laser
mainly
say that's
just
bug
don't like
thing.
his
exactly what I
other forms, I
chose.
guess.
I'm actually okay with Grubbin and Charjabug.
Yeah,
I think they kind of
like a
fit
little
the whole
battery.
theme.
Yeah,
Yeah,
He's
like they're
certainly not the worst
little
bug.
batteries. But yeah, no, Vikavolt was what I chose for regional
nice.
bug as
Yeah.
well, for pretty
Wow.
much the same reasons. I will say, it pissed me off in Sun and Moon because you had to bring your Charjabug to like the certain canyon at the very end of the game in order to get it to evolve. You had to
Oh, yeah,
level it
that's
up
dumb.
in that canyon. But
Yeah.
then they changed that in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon because they realized how ridiculous that is.
Yeah.
Um, and so I think like at that point they just gave it a certain level. You had to be, or no, you had to teach it a certain move, or it had to learn a certain move, level up, and then it evolved. So yeah,
Yeah,
it
mine.
was messy.
It's so weird. So like, I was looking through them, and it's kind of you'd have to like. There's some questions regarding which regional bug is the proper regional bug for a few of the regions.
Oh, that's fair.
And so like I kind of didn't even think about it, but for Gen 2, it's kind of between Lady N, like Ladybug, Lady N, and then Spinarak and Ariados. I just kind of like forgot that they were kind of like the two, and there's like another region that's like that too. But I'd probably go Ariados, but I really liked Spodops from this new one, Tarantula and Spodops. I love the way he looks.
Yes.
He's so cool, and I love seeing him in the wild. And he looks like a badass. He just looks like a ninja spider, but he's just straight bug. And then I also really like Scoliopede from I think is that Black and White.
Yes,
Yeah,
that one's like a
Yes.
good second for me.
Yeah, that's a sick one. But I probably go Ariados. I got sentimental value with Spinarak and Ariados. It's just so sick.
That's fair. Next, then, favorite regional, I guess, rodent,
Yeah.
if you will. You know,
Yeah,
we all
they're
just
not really
say-
rodents
Are we all
anymore.
saying Bidoof? We're all
I'm just
saying
gonna say
right?
Bidoof.
For your
Yeah,
favorite?
Bidoof, for
Yeah.
sure.
Nah, I'm going Furret.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I like Furret's like the actual only one that I think is looks decent.
I'm not even saying Bidoof for the memes, like maybe partially,
I
but
just
I
think
just
Bidoof's ugly. I don't know.
I just think Bidoof evolving into Bibarel and having that like extra water typing is pretty good. Just
I like,
compared to like all the other rodents that are
I
just normal.
my number two, and certainly not based off looks. It was based off typing. Was Diggersby because I like that he gets the ground.
That was my second choice, but also it's just like I
He's
don't
so
have a
ugly.
good strong connection with Diggersby
No,
at all.
he's hideous. He's
And he's
absolutely
ugly,
hideous.
so-
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
horrible. No, I went with Furret. Just I don't know. Gen 2. It's probably why.
But Bidoof.
Yeah.
Another thing that is also somewhat rodent related. Every gen has its own Pikachu clone, if you will. Some kind of electrical mouse type
They all
there.
suck, but
Yeah.
Oh,
usually.
and I don't really have a strong attachment to any of them. So like I had a hard time. I think I went with
Yeah.
Emolga as is my
Okay.
favorite there, the one that's
Yeah.
kind of like the
Flying,
flying squirrel. But I don't know if I've ever even caught an Emolga before. Like I don't know. I think electric flying is cool. I like his
Yeah.
little glidey thing, but I don't really care much about these Pikachu clones. Like Bailey said,
Yeah.
they're also never very good.
yeah, I went with Togedemaru because it's just the electric steel type, and also it's kind of like Hedgehoggy. I was like, yeah, sure, whatever, it's cute.
Yeah,
That's really all it's got going for it.
I don't really like the the ones that don't evolve too much, and I hardly ever use them too much, anyways. But I think I'd probably go right, like the Pikachu Raichu. Like he's just seems like he's actually the best of all of them. But I did use my secondary choice was the one that came out in this new gen, the Pamo Pomot, because he
Yeah.
gets the electric fighting, which I thought was really cool. And
I was about to say,
I
like
had a fun
that's
time using them.
that's the one where I was battling Larry and his normal types, and I was like, I really should have kept my Pomot
Yeah.
like in my party because I
Yeah.
could have used a fighting type.
Yeah, so I'd probably go Raichu. I think Raichu's just a little bit more durable, but I liked the electric fighting of the new one.
Then, yeah, again, I'm not a huge fan of the Pikachu clones or whatever. We talked a lot about regional variants. Next question was, do you have a favorite regional variant? Not just in this game, but like regional. Since regional variants have been around, do you have a favorite? This one I thought was pretty easy for me. I fucking love Alolan Raichu. I just
He's
think
cool.
Alolan Raichu is so awesome. He's cute. I like that he surfs on his tail. I like his typing as well. I don't know. I think he's awesome. Raichu's a Pokemon that that never really gets as much shine as
Pikachu.
Pikachu,
Yeah.
obviously, and also it's not very good either. Like Raichu's not like a super strong Pokemon either in the grand scheme of things. So I liked it getting a little bit of attention here, and Psychic typing is helpful as well because Psychic is
And
just a strong move,
it levitates, so it can't be hit by ground types.
Oh, that's
So
pretty sick.
that makes it a
which is
bitch to
huge
battle.
for yeah,
That is
huge for
huge.
electric too. Yeah.
Yeah. I went with Hisuian Gudra from Legends Arceus. I just
Drippy, drippy, drippy.
right. I was just like, Gudra is such a disappointing pseudo legendary,
Yeah.
and giving it like more of the conceptual snail design that they were going for, by giving it an actual like snail shell to go into that is made of steel. I was like, okay, this is good. I like this. And I that's another thing about these new games is I wish like you had access to the Hisuian
I
forms.
almost want to just go and say that the Hisuians should just be considered paradox Pokemon.
Yeah, that's kind of what I hope they do in a DLC where like it opens up a portal to like various times
Yeah, that would be
and
cool.
like the
That'd be a good way to
Hisuian
get them.
Pokemon
Because
come
you can, I
through.
think the only way you can do it, you can transfer it through Pokebank, but other than that, or
Maybe.
Pokehome,
I
I
don't know.
think. I
Yeah.
think, but I could be wrong.
Right. Yeah. Hisuian Gudra, my choice.
Yeah, my favorite is Alolan Sandslash. I just think he looks so badass. I
Yeah.
was I
Yeah.
always liked Sandslash, but he was admittedly kind of shitty, and so I've probably only used him a handful of times, and I don't know. This guy just looks so much better than the other Sandslash. He just looks so cool. Ice Steel, maybe not the best typing, really weak to fire, but
Oh yeah.
badass nonetheless. I was a big fan of that one.
I love maybe something about like ice is not a good type. Ice
It's
gets just
not.
blasted.
It's really
But I
not.
also love Alolan Ninetales.
Yeah, they were both really
Vulpix.
cool.
Yeah.
Yep. I think
No.
Sandslash was just a little bit cooler.
Ice typing is just clean. It just looks clean, I think, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
And then last, and this is maybe like slightly different than favorite regional variant, and that's favorite added evolution. So like a new evolution that was added to a pre-existing Pokemon. So it would need to have like a different name,
Yeah.
basically. Instead of just like a low one Sandslash. Well, that's still a Sandslash. For me, I guess I guess you could even do like I don't know. Some of them I think are bad. Like
So there are so many bad ones, yes.
I hate the Magmar and Electa.
Electivire, yeah.
Yeah, those guys are those are rough. I went and I picked Cleaver from
Oh, yeah, that's sick. I would say
from
that's one
Arceus. Cleaver is
I want to
so
play that
cool.
for that. Yeah.
And also in the same game, mostly just because I like the name, Overquill. Overquill of
Quillfish?
Spellfish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a cool name, Overquill.
Yeah.
But probably Cleaver. Just the big freaking axes for his hands are awesome.
I'm just gonna go. I was kind of going off of like added from Johto onward, because they added a bunch of evolutions even then, pre-evolutions and post. Espeon. I'm just gonna go and say Espeon
Oh
is my favorite
shit!
added
I didn't even
evolution.
consider
Yeah.
Espeon
Yeah.
at that
Didn't
point, but
Because it's been around for so long.
it has
you
been
just
around
kind
for
of
so long. You
consider it.
kind of just don't think about it. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a realistic pick for me, but I did not think of that actually. I was going to go personally. I don't have. I somehow I didn't answer this question on my list, so I didn't actually have it readily available in front of me. But I liked Honchkrow, Murkrow
Oh, yeah,
Honchkrow.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a neat one. And Zach, I want to say I've possibly said this before, but you were saying a lot of those ones were ugly, and I agree with you. I have a theory about this, or it's something I've noticed personally with
Okay.
Gen 4. They at least exclusively I'll say with Gen 4, They had the most additions of extended evolutions and baby evolutions of any region ever. Like it's like insane comparatively to the other regions. They've just added so many like extenders and pre-baby evolutions. And I noticed that personally, all of the evolutions that they added that created a third one. So like Electabuzz, Magmar, Rhyperior, those things that added the third ones, they're all fucking hideous. But all of the ones that added like just the second stage, so like Murkrow to Honchkrow, Mischievous to Mismagius,
Magius.
they're all good.
I like
they're all
Mismagius,
good.
yeah.
Yeah, and then Gligar to Gliscor looks sick. Even adding Munchlax to Snorlax, like the things that created the 2-stage, awesome. The things that created the 3-stage, horrible. I've just noticed that.
Right.
I've looked through it a lot, and that's my personal opinion.
I almost think like even some of the stuff that was just like too much, like even Johto, they added the baby forms to like Magmar and Electabuzz.
I like
and
that,
then going
personally.
on to that fourth. It
I
just
like
kind of feels like
Elekid.
that makes
Yeah.
it even. It makes it even worse because Elekid and even Magby, I kind of like their forms better
Yeah.
than Magmar and Electabuzz.
Same. Yeah, same.
Like,
I
And
that's
like
the
then
best
they
one,
get
yeah.
worse whenever they evolve with that 4th gen.
Yeah.
It's like I like the baby forms better than like any of their other forms they turn
Agreed.
into.
Yeah.
Great.
Oof.
I know, I agree. That is weird. And then, like, I also hate the shit. What is it? Rhyperior.
Yeah, Rhyperior is horrible. You ruined such a badass Pokemon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Rhydon
rough.
was so cool.
It was just it's a product of over designing it. I would say probably like the only one that I could actually be like, you know what, that's fine. Like I can deal with this is Electivire. I just kind of feel like it doesn't feel connected to Electabuzz
At all.
But if it were its own Pokemon, I would probably be like okay with
It looks like it could be a pseudo legendary, but I still don't think
yeah,
it looks
it does. But
good. And Magmortar is also. I think Magmortar might be my least favorite. It just looks
Yeah,
so
that
dumb.
one- that one
Magmortar's
just looks
rough.
like ass.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, yeah, that's Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'm sure it is quite good. It sounds like it's a lot of fun. I'll be picking that bad boy up, probably soon-ish.
Which one are you getting?
I was gonna go with Scarlet. Just that was
Okay.
kind of my plan from the
Probably
beginning.
the safe choice, yeah.
But yeah, coming up soon, we'll do we're getting close to the end of the year, so we'll probably do some top 10 lists, movies, TV shows, hype lists for next year, which some of mine has repeats from last year because they didn't goddamn come out. But yeah, so those are what we've got coming up here soon. I'm sure Bailey's list will be full of Oscar favorites and,
Honestly, I'm looking
obscure
at mine
indie
that I have so
films.
far, and I'm just like, wow, there are a lot of cartoons on here.
And I think Caleb's will be completely unhinged. I'm always excited to see what Caleb's lists are because I'm always like, what?
Yeah,
Um, you know.
new apps.
Well, all right. Well, I think that's about it for it. Adios. Farewell. Back. We back.
Nice.